Before starting the video, one of my community members contacted me and told me that he is creating a portal-like 3D game. The name of the game is A Dimension and its aesthetics and puzzle elements are quite similar to that of Portal. What you are seeing now is the trailer of the prototype of the game that is made under a week. The game looks very promising and you can purchase it just for $3. So all the things regarding their game and their Discord server is in the description. You can go and check it out. Also, link to my Discord server will also be there. You can come and join the community. So what are rule tiles? Rule tiles are scriptable tiles written in C# which helps define the behavior of the tiles in a tile palette. It allows you to paint a scene with rule tile and have it to be smart enough to use appropriate adjacent tiles. It can be used for tiles, boundaries, collisions on the fly, which helps speed up creation process. So in simple words, if you are using rule tiles, then you can specify rules for a particular tile from your tile palette, and after specifying rules for all the tiles that you are using to paint your tile map in the game, you can just specify the area in which you want to paint your tiles, and the rule tiles will automatically calculate according to your provided rules that which tile is to be placed in which position. So it makes the tile painting and level designing process a whole lot faster using rule tiles rather than just manually painting each of the tiles in each of the sides and corners of your game scene. So to utilize the rule tile plugin, you have to go to github.com/unitytechnologies/2dextras and you have to download this 2D extras library. You can either clone it or you can download the zip for this 2D extras library, and it will provide you many features, and one of them is rule tiles. After you are done with this, just drag and drop the 2D extras masters folder into your Unity's project panel, and after you have done this, when you will right click on your projects panel, you can see there is an option of 2D, and in the 2D section you have some more options of tiles and brushes. And if you go further into the tiles option, then you can see the rule tiles in one of the choices. After that, a new asset of rule tile would be created. You can name it anything you want, and if you click it and look at the inspector panel, then you can see the place where you can specify all the rules for your particular tiles in your tile map. Here you can see the first one is a default sprite, and this is the sprite that would be painted in your game in that particular position for which no rules are defined. So I'll keep this sprite to a normal one. Then there are two other options. One is for default game object and the other is for default collider. I'll set the default game object to none and default collider to none also. Now after that, you can see there are two different options for default game object and default collider. We'll specify default game object none for all our sprite, and for this particular sprite I'll specify default collider to none. Although there are two other options, the sprite and the grid collider, in which colliders would be specified according to the grid or the sprite respectively. But as this default tile would be a middle tile while I am painting my rule tiles, so I'll specify the default collider to none because I only want colliders on the sides of my painted tiles, not on the middle. After this, you can see there are different tiling rules here. The list is empty and you can click on the plus sign and specify rules for as many tile sprites as you want. So let's start defining the rules, and for now I'll specify rules according to the tile combination that you can see in your screen, one by one for each tile sprite. So let's start by defining the rule for the middle left tile. For that, you will click on the plus sign in tiling rules, and here you can see an option arrived for adding a new tile sprite and defining rules for it. So I'll start by dragging and dropping my required tile sprite to the sprite section. Set its collider to sprite because it would be the tile in which I want a collider. I'll set the game object to none and output to single as it is. Now here you can see there is a grid kind of a thing in the left where you have dragged the sprite of the tile, and in this grid at the center position there is a black grayish dot. So this dot specified the position of the tile sprite you are specifying rules for, and in the boxes around this dot you can specify three types of rules for this tile sprite. The first one is arrow. That means it is allowed to place another tile at that particular position of the box. Second is cross. That means no tiles can be placed at that particular position of the box around our particular sprite tile in which we are specifying the rules. And the third option is nothing, that means no rules are defined for that particular side. Now if you look at our tile palette and look at that particular left middle tile, you can see that we can allow a tile to be placed just above it. So we'll put a green arrow above the black dot in our tiling rules. After that, you can see that we can also specify a tile below it. So we'll specify a green arrow below that black spot also. Similarly, we can specify tiles at the right of it and the top right diagonal and the bottom left diagonal. Now there are 3 boxes left to define the rules. In the top left box, you can see that we cannot allow any other tile to be painted. So we'll put a red cross mark there. Similarly, you can see on the left side and the bottom left diagonal also we cannot allow any other tile to be placed. So we'll also specify a cross at the left and the down left diagonal. Here you can see down below the preview of how the rule tile has calculated the position of that particular tile for which you are specifying the rules. And here you can see that we have specified rules for our middle left tile and the position is looking good in the rule tile preview also. So in a similar way, we'll specify rules for all the tiles, that is the left tile, top tile, bottom tile and all the corner diagonal tiles according to their position and the position of their adjacent tile. While specifying the rules, you can check whether the rule tiles has placed each tile in the correct position that you want, and if not, then you need to change the rules in your tiling rules. After you are done with specifying rules for all the other tiles, now you can look in the preview and you can see that all the tiles are in a perfect position. So we are almost done with defining the rules for our rule tile. And now if we open our tile palette, then we can drag and drop the rule tile asset that we have just now created into the tile palette, and you can see this whole rule tile is seen in the tile palette as a particular single tile with the sprite of the default sprite that you have specified in your rule tile asset. After that, you can click on the particular tile that you just now added to the tile palette, select the tool for painting the rule tile, and now you can see when you drag and paint your particular rule tile in the scene, then all the tiles are perfectly positioned and correctly calculated by a rule tile. Now you do not have to do anything, you just have to paint the required area in your game and that rule tile will automatically place the particular correct tiles in their position. You can paint tiles, you can cut them, and you can see the things are automatically falling in their place. Now there is still a problem with our rule tile. If I cut a section from between a filled rectangle in the painted rule tile, you can see at the corners there are some tile sprites not positioned in a correct way. This is because we have only specified the rules of our tiles for the outer corners and sides of our selected area. But if you have to paint the same thing in the inner side of a painted area for the rule tile, then you haven't specified any rules for that particular corner and sides. So what you can do here is you can specify the main sprites again and define different rules for that according to the inner filling of the rule tiles, and you would see that the rule tiles will now specify correct position for each tile, no matter it is in the outer edge or in the inner edge or corner of your painted area. And that is a homework for you all. And that was it for today's video. Hope you found it helpful and hope it helps to speed up your level designing process. So if you like the video, consider subscribing the channel and also press the like button. You can join my Discord server. The link is in the description for any queries or any other thing. You can also specify your comments and queries in the comment section down there. Devlog videos are coming soon. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, dream big, hustle hard, and keep watching The Techpreneurs. Bye.
My darling, I told you I'm not perfect man, but I promise I will never hurt you again.
My darling, I told you I'm not perfect man, but I promise I will never hurt you